Heritage etiquette suggests that it is appropriate for all people to remain seated during the entire program. This provides a similar or equal posture for all. This time we will be favored with our opening number, God Bless America, chairperson of the Governor's Commission on Employment of the Handicapped, Ellen Suckles, accompanied by Hamill Angerson.
Thank you, Ron.
Time I would like to dismiss or excuse the sheriffs. I get a little nervous with this much law enforcement around. They are all on duty. We certainly appreciate them being here, and they're going to leave and return. They're on the job. Let's give them a hand as they leave. Certainly appreciate them being here, and they will be returning. At this time, I would like to introduce to some and present to others to give us a welcome to their city of Clyde, the Honorable Mayor of Clyde, the Mayor, Honorable Gene Maddox. Let us receive.
Thank you very much, Ron. I would like to welcome all of you here tonight to the 1986 Handicapped Woman of Iowa project, to all the contestants, to the sheriff, and I must agree with Ron. When I rolled up outside, I'd never seen so many sheriff's cars in Clyde before in my life, but I was glad to know they were here for a good purpose, and I'm glad they're participating in this program. The Miss Wheelchair Iowa Inc. Representatives of that group, I found this an interesting experience to learn more about this organization, learn more about the pageant. To all of you, I would like to welcome you all to the city of Clyde, which, as you know, of course, is a western suburb of Des Moines, population of about 7,000. And I'm pleased to see that this kind of event and organization exists as a vehicle for education about the kinds of opportunities and services that this group and these people provide. Welcome to Clyde. We wish you all well.
We will be meeting with contestants' escorts later on in the program. They will be returning. They were so gracious to come out and lend us their service at this time, and we will be meeting them later on in the program by name. At this time, I would like to introduce or have the contestants now introduce themselves and their family. Our representative that might be here, I want to see, is this working? Can you hear me back there? Okay. Somebody said too much. We're going to start right here and work our way down.
I'm Eleanor Luce, and I'm from Sioux City, Iowa, and I would like to introduce my friend, Merle Smith from Sioux City.
I'm Maxine Dykstra, and I'd like to introduce my friend Steve Buck. I'm Diane Pageant, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I'd like to introduce my mom, my dad, my two sons, and my husband.
That's wonderful. Her son is here, was in an accident today, but he's here, and we're certainly glad for that, but he's all right.
I'm Joanne Sargent from Ojai, and I'd like to introduce my sister, Carol Myers.
I'm trying to kind of stay out of the way because when I'm here, you can't see any of them up here, I know. All right. Your family? Very good. Let's give all of the family and the friends that are out here. I really enjoy this program. I have several reasons for enjoying it. I've been involved in a lot of activities, and I've been involved in many things, but you know, one of the things about this particular pageant that I enjoy most is it's the only thing that I've ever been involved in where we don't have any losers. Every one of these ladies is a winner. And I'll tell you, some of our past winners are in the crowd tonight, and you'll be meeting them, and they will attest to the fact that we don't have any losers. The only thing that we're going to do here tonight, one of these ladies is going to be a representative to speak on the concerns of handicapped people in the state of Iowa. But basically, we do not have any losers. But it's really a program that we're all glad to be a part of, and we're certainly glad to have you here this evening. At this time, I would like to introduce a dear friend, a champion of rights, a champion that always is out there trying to do what is right for the underprivileged, the handicapped, and so forth. And I couldn't say enough about this individual, but she's one of our judges tonight, and she's going to introduce the judges and give a little background and a little explanation all the way from Sioux City, Miss Jackie Smith. Jackie, come on up. She will do the intros and the background part. If you want to use the mic, Jackie, fine.
Judging is not an easy task. These gals all have so much ability that we use a point system, and believe me, any one of them would make an excellent choice. I would like to introduce the judges. Would you turn so they could see you? David Quick, Program Manager, Field Operations, Iowa Commission for the Blind. Marva DeVore, Nurse Manager, Outpatient Surgery, Iowa Methodist Medical Center. Joanne Westergaard, Chairperson, Long-Term Care Administration Program, Area 11 Community College. And Dr. Garen Milton, Vocational Counselor, Iowa Methodist Medical Center. This is the criteria we follow. The ability to communicate a possible 30 points. Contestants must be able to communicate effectively. As handicapped woman of Iowa, she will be appearing throughout Iowa before groups speaking as one of Iowa's disabled citizens. The image she projects will be an important factor in breaking down attitudinal and architectural barriers. The capacity and endurance to travel, a possible 25 points. In carrying out her responsibilities as handicapped woman of Iowa, it will be necessary for her to travel extensively throughout the state. Social confidence, a possible 20 points. Poise, appearance, and personality are important factors in her role as Miss Handicapped Iowa. The ability to project a positive possible 15 points. And personal achievement, a possible 10 points. And that is what we found to choose the handicapped woman of Iowa. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. No matter what the contest is, what the awards are, it's always seemed that the judges always get stuck with the toughest job because they have got to come up with someone, one of these ladies is going to be our representative and our winner, and I'm quite sure as all of you see them, as you'll be hearing from them in the program, that you say it's got to be a tough job. It's really been a labor of love to work with and be with them, and I'm quite sure that at the end of the program tonight that you will certainly agree that it is all worthwhile. At this time, again, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker this evening, a lady that is very, very familiar with us in the city of Des Moines and around the areas representing contiguous to Des Moines, a lady who has always been a champion, who has worked in the rehab services, one who was able to stand up and stand for her rights and let them know that her place as a council person was going to be recognized, and she has done so many beautiful things. And one of the things that I think makes it so lovely is when we see other people who are breaking ground or going forward and championing new causes. And when we have these types of individuals who are untiringly in their work and are willing to go out and do great things, that I could just go on and say many, many things about this person that I'm going to introduce to you, but I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions tonight. I'm sure that we will all agree as we go down, as we leave this place, that certainly we have been rewarded by having a person like this to come and be our speaker tonight. In her very busy schedule, she may, after speaking, she may have to leave us because she has another engagement later on this evening, but we're going to keep her as long as we can. Ladies and gentlemen, Councilperson Elaine Simoniak, our speaker this evening.
Thank you, Ron, for a very nice introduction. When Deanna called and asked me if I could speak, I at first said yes and then checked my schedule and realized that I had something else. And I'm so glad that it was possible to work this out because I feel this is a really important event for me to participate in, something that means a great deal to me. And let me tell you why. I have been a part of rehabilitation really all of my life. My parents were deaf, and I had a brother who was cerebral palsy, who did not walk until he was probably past 12. And because my parents were deaf, and I was their interpreter, I recall very vividly going with my mother to talk to the school superintendent, who explained to me, so I could explain to her, that my brother would not be permitted to attend school because it would be too disturbing and distracting to the other children to have him in the class. As I said, he didn't walk. He had a kind of push cart that he sat in and had wheels, and he pulled the handle back and forth, and that moved him around. And I tried to say to the principal, but he can move around by himself. Well, he couldn't get in the building because he was deaf. So we went through that year after year, always trying to get him in school. And it was not until he was 12 or so that he was able to go for a brief time to a special class in La Crosse, Wisconsin, which was some 60 miles away. And that didn't work very long. But I know what it used to be like. And I thought about that today when I heard on the news over and over they were saying that the Bill of Rights for the handicapped is going to have to be delayed 5 years because there isn't enough money in the budget. And that can be really discouraging and disheartening. And I think when those times come, it's important to look back and know how far we've come. It doesn't mean that we have to say that we're satisfied, but it means that we have to recognize that we have a great deal of power, that we have strength, and that we have made a great deal of difference, and we will continue making that difference. When I look back, and I think I taught in public school, and I worked in what was called speech correction and speech therapy and audiology, and so I was in school systems, and I saw things begin to change. But it was not until the 60s that there was really significant change for people who were handicapped, as there were for many other people. I always am unhappy when I see writers refer or speakers refer to the total failure of the Great Society, of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society, because I think it was that time of a great deal of infusion of federal money that made a difference for many people. And among those for whom it made a difference were people who were handicapped. It brought together conferences, it brought parents, it encouraged parents to form organizations and to fight for their children, for handicapped people themselves. It brought them out so that they could be heard. The money that was put into conferences and into education was a very important thing. I remember in Voc Rehab when we had money appropriated for a study in each state, and the goal was that there would be services provided for every handicapped person in the state. And that seemed doable at the time. You know, as we did that study, we thought we were going to have a system in place where that would happen. Well, that dream was perhaps a little too much. We don't have a total, complete network of services in the state, and Voc Rehab certainly does not have the same kind of power that at that time in the 60s was expected, but there are so many other organizations. At that time, Voc Rehab was really the only game in town. But now there are many private organizations. There are, just as this organization, so many groups that are working together to change life for people who are handicapped. So I think that we don't say that era, that the Great Society was a failure. It did a great many things for us. I think as we talk about rights, we have to recognize the leadership that came from black people as they fought for civil rights, and how much we all learned from the kind of organizing that they did and the way they worked together to gain their rights, and are still doing that. Federal legislation was extremely important, and we can talk about regulation and too much government, but affirmative action certainly opened doors in employment for many people. The barriers, the architectural barriers, and do you remember when colleges and when cities were faced with what at first seemed like astronomical costs to remove the curb barriers? And you know that they said, well, there really aren't. You never see any people out there in wheelchairs, so you don't need those. And of course, the obvious thing is, how could people be out there in wheelchairs when the barriers were as they are? And as those barriers were removed, we have seen more and more people moving about through environments where they can go down the street without having a curb. We haven't completed that. But certainly there was a great deal of resistance to that, which the government stood firm because of pressure that came from us, from you, from all of the people who knew what it meant for those who were in wheelchairs to be able to get out, no longer locked in their homes, no longer prevented from being out because they couldn't get into toilets, they couldn't get into restaurants. Now, it's still not perfect, but it is so much better than it was. We've seen other kinds of things happen in education. And Iowa was certainly a leader. I think this state had legislation requiring the least restrictive environment before it was federal. But just the fact that kids who were different in some way were in classes with kids who were so-called normal made a tremendous amount of difference. I think we tend as people to be afraid of that which we don't know, to be uncomfortable. You know, I certainly know a lot about that. I remember as a youngster how people used to stop and stand and stare when we would walk by my brother, who we might have had in a wagon, who when he did walk was very severely involved. And my parents who talked in their hands, you know, and then my younger brother and I coming along. We used to resent the staring sometimes. And I think people probably thought it just shows that deaf people can't handle their kids, because we occasionally go over and kick somebody who was staring at it. Do other kinds of things that were rude, and my mother didn't know why we were doing it, because she didn't hear it. I remember at one time when we went out to, and I'm thinking about that today, what words mean. It used to be deaf and dumb, and I remember going to a cheese factory. My father liked to go Sunday afternoon driving, and growing up in Wisconsin, there were lots of cheese factories. And we stopped at one that had been his favorite, and I heard the man yell, "Hey, Ma, here comes the dummy." And my brother Charlie and I didn't like that. We just ran over and kicked him. And for the poor man to know what was going on with these kids, and my parents were terribly embarrassed, and we really didn't know exactly what we were doing either. We're a lot more careful about language, and I thought with deaf people, deaf and dumb is no longer acceptable. You see it creep in once in a while, and dumb was an acceptable word. It meant unable to speak, but of course it got translated into dumb, not very smart. And with handicapped people, crippled used to be a word that was used, and then we began to say that's bad, and I think because it was used in a derogatory fashion. There was teasing, saying crip, words like that, and so we got rid of that word, and we've been struggling with it. Handicapped, there are people who don't want us to use that anymore and want us to use disabled, and I've heard seen differently able as a word, but somehow I think we take the word and we have to have pride in them. I think you can take a word like handicapped or disabled and say, if that's the word that fits me, then I will wear it with pride, and I will show the world. And I think that's what you have done. People who have different abilities, who are not able perhaps to do the same kind of thing, have faced the world with pride. And we now see people on television. I guess I got into this talking about kids in school, having friends who were different, and becoming comfortable with them, and growing up then feeling more comfortable with them, not encountering for the first time a person who is cerebral palsied or hearing impaired or blind, but having been in some activities in school, so they have established that kind of relationship. I think that's very important. And television has certainly helped. I think television has had some good films, has shown people who have different kinds of abilities and disabilities in starring roles. They have been, I think, fairly sensitive. And when they aren't, we let them know. You let them know. And again, that's very important. They can't always know what they're doing in the way they may portray a person. But there's a vigilant public who does let them know, and I think that's made great change. Medical advances certainly have made a difference. All of the kinds of things that are available to people that weren't even 10, 15 years ago. I think we're beginning to make great advances in wheelchairs and in devices for mobility. We have all kinds of electronic equipment to use for those who have visual and hearing impairment. And that kind of thing is proceeding so rapidly. Just out of my own experience, I can think how important the development of telecommunication devices is for the hearing impaired. And as a youngster, before we had a telephone, I had to go do the errands. But then when we got a telephone, and I was in my teens, and I think I paid for the telephone with the money that I made working in a popcorn stand when I was 12. I wanted a telephone so I could talk to my friends, but what I realized then, I was stuck with making the calls from my parents all the time, and didn't like that at all. So it's great freedom now for deaf people to have the telecommunication device and be able to, and we have in Des Moines your first call for help, a way for telephone calls to be relayed. And that's a great freeing up thing, just as it is for people who use wheelchairs to be freed because they can have a van and they can get out on streets where there are curb cuts, and they know that they can go to restaurants that are accessible. That kind of freeing up, which has come from attitudes, but also from the advances that are made in society in the electronic and mechanical kinds of advances, so people are able to live independently. The attention that we have begun to pay, and I think we've done that very slowly, and for I don't know how many years ago, working as a voc rehab counselor, I recognized how important it was for young people to be able to leave home, like the so-called normal were able to leave home and live independently, or those who had suffered some kind of a traumatic injury and needed a great deal of care, but to have to live at home. And we've begun to move into providing housing that is appropriate. But we have a long way to go. I think we'll get there because, again, of people like you who will work on it, who will insist on it, who will make it happen. The attitude of people now of pride and of rejecting pity. You know, there's not, and that I used to see that so much, that society, people who were standing and looking at us were looking mostly with pity. And I hated that. And I think so did every person, and so does every person who has some kind of disability. What you want is respect and understanding, but not pity. And I think there is far less of that because the respect and understanding has grown. You have demanded it, and you have earned it. An event like this, I think that Miss Wheelchair America and Miss Wheelchair Iowa, going out to groups and speaking for handicapped people, speaking for all people, and doing that with pride makes a great deal of difference to all of us. I retired in June from my employment with vocational rehabilitation. 29 years so I worked for the state. Before that, I had worked in a variety of settings. But the 29 years, you know, one accumulates a great deal of paper in stuff in the files. And since I knew I was going to retire, and I knew I had a lot of work to do, I spent a good many months really going through, little by little, sorting things out and throwing them away. And I realized how fortunate, how blessed I had been by those years of employment. As I looked at case notes, and I recalled the people with whom I had worked, and I thought how much I grew, how much I learned from the courage and the strength of all of the clients. And I thought of very special ones as I went through those years, and I just over and over again think that I have someone to thank. Somehow that I moved into that direction and had the great experiences that I've had, no matter what else I do. And you know, since I've been in the city council thing, I've had a lot of interesting experiences. I've had good ones and bad ones. I've learned a lot and I've grown. But there's nothing that can ever compare to the experiences that I have had as a vocational rehabilitation counselor and the opportunity to share a life with someone who is growing, adjusting, working through all of the challenges that come from being somewhat different. So I salute you. I tell you how proud I am to be here with you and how proud I am to see the things that you continue to do. Thank you.
You taking time out of your busy schedule. Hope you can stay as long as you can, but we'll understand if you have to excuse yourself and leave. I'll do that excusing for you now, and then you may leave when you ever know what you have to do. We certainly appreciate it. We had to change the schedule around just a little bit because Elaine had some good things to tell us, and I think it was worthwhile changing the schedule around to hear all the good things that she had to say. We wish her well in retirement. She doesn't mean she's retiring. She's just changing jobs. She'll still be busy. At this time, I would like to get back to the program and get a little bit back on schedule. I wanted to make sure that we allowed Elaine enough time to give us her presentation, and now it gives me a great deal of pleasure again to introduce our pageant chairperson. I tell you, such a dynamite individual. She's with the Revenue Service. We meet all year long. I thought I'd put a plug in that just in case they audit me again this year. But she's such a tremendous individual. And I tell you, if you could work with her and be with her like we meet monthly, and then when the pageant gets a little closer, we start meeting twice a month, and then when it gets closer, once a week, and then when it's getting real close, it's about every other day, and even afternoon meetings. But this is the lady that ties it together for us. She's our pageant chairperson for tonight, and I would like to at this time introduce Loretta Tasson. Come on up here, Loretta. She's on. Welcome our guest. Loretta's got a lot of good things to tell you, and I know you'll be glad to hear them. Loretta Tasson.
Thank you, Ron. The first is you have an appointment at 8 o'clock Monday morning.
I blew it.
Okay, this is it. Here we are again. On behalf of the Miss Wheelchair Iowa Board, I'd like to welcome you here tonight. This is the night that we've been working for all year, and we hope that you'll find it as exciting as we do. The weekend started yesterday afternoon when these women checked in, and it'll end tomorrow at noon when they check out of the motel. It's been great so far. We've run into a few obstacles with the motel, but nothing that we didn't overcome, and we've enjoyed every minute of it. Now we're anxiously awaiting the decision, the selection of the judges, and we know you are too. As Ron said earlier, we don't have any losers here as far as we're concerned. We've got 5 winners. And we hope you'll take that home with you and remember that. The past year, as I said, we've been preparing for tonight. It's been a lot of work, but we thoroughly enjoy it. We do it because it is truly a labor of love. These women think we do it for them. Little do they know, we do it for ourselves. And we do it because it's something that we truly believe in. As Miss Handicapped Woman of Iowa travels across the communities of Iowa, we feel that everyone benefits. A better understanding is created, not only for the disabled population, but for all the citizens here in Iowa. We thank you for coming tonight. We hope you enjoy it. We thank you for sharing tonight with us. Now we'll turn you back to the one and only Ron Carter.
Thank you. Until I met her and a board member you'll be meeting later on, Gene DeVore. So I was never audited by the Internal Revenue Service before. And then once I met them every year, they say, Ron, come on in, it's your time, you know. So I don't know what they're telling down there, but I work for the state, you know, I don't have that kind of money. But anyway, we're just so happy here tonight that all of you are out here. We have a part of our program here before we dismiss the judges, and that's where you get an opportunity to hear from our contestants again, where we have kind of what we call the gold bowl, and that's where they take a question from the bowl, and then I give it to them, and they give me an answer, and that will be the last that the judges will hear from them until after they have made their decision. As we stated earlier, that's always a difficult decision. I'm sure that the judges are waiting right up to the last moment to make that decision. And as I said, we have none of the 5 winners here anyway. What's going to assist me tonight is one of the board members, Polly. Polly's going to handle, we have rehearsed this, and Polly and I, we talked and we said, we kind of wondered what would be the best way to do it. And we discussed it for a couple of board meetings, and then when we finally made a decision, Polly said, Ron, I think you ought to be in back, and I ought to be in front. I think that's what we came up with. So you see, we don't do anything without a board decision. Is that right, Polly?
That's right.
Polly always keeps us in line. If we get too far off, she says, come on back, we've got this to take care of. So it's just decisions like this that we spend time deciding. And Polly, I think we're all set. So we'll start right here. You want to get in front there. Now, is Polly in front or is she in back? Oh, okay. We'll just go along the back. Okay. Let's see. What would you say to someone who asks, why should I employ a handicapped person?
I would say to someone that wants to apply for a handicap, to hire a handicapped person. The handicap isn't what holds them back. They have intelligence just like anyone else. And they'll hire them and they'll do an extra special job because a handicapped person usually goes the extra mile.
Thank you. Yeah, extra mile. All right. And we move right on down. Trying to sneak a look there, wasn't you? What is your opinion? What, in your opinion, is the biggest misconception about handicapped people?
Well, I think that my opinion, and this section is that they look at your handicap, not your ability to do things.
All right, moving right along. Polly, I'm trying not to trip you up in this chord. We didn't rehearse this, did we? Okay. All right. If you want to park in a space reserved for the handicapped, and it is occupied by a vehicle without a proper parking permit, what action would you take?
First of all, I have a little stickers put on the windshield. I would handle that situation first. Second of all, I would probably sit and wait and ask them to make sure that they are handicapped and ask them if they would appreciate, I would appreciate them not do that any longer.
All right, I always stated I'd look and see what size they were first. I had an incident with a situation like that. I work for the postal department for the state of Iowa, and we have trucks, and they're marked state mail trucks on them. And once in a while, I have to run down to the post office, and I run in right quick, and I run back out, and I'm only in there just momentarily. On this particular occasion, someone was watching me park in the handicapped spot. This was years ago. But I ran in and ran out. I was only in there just a few minutes. I got back to the office and I get this call. Well, the person doesn't know they're talking to me. The guy that parked in the handicap stall. Truck number 1543, I believe that's under your jurisdiction, was parked illegally in the handicapped spot, and I think you ought to do something about that individual. And then they went on to describe me. I'm not going to tell you what they said in the description, but I knew that was me, and I said, we will take care of that matter right away. All right. Oh, I enjoyed this. Tell us what you have enjoyed doing the most in the 2 days you have been here and why. We do have some children in the audience.
Just being with the girls, the sharing that we've done, you've talked about our problems, you've laughed together. There hasn't been any tears. Well, very few. And why because I love people. And we're
Very good. We like people. Mary's already been programmed with her question, and I tell you, it's just great, the modern things that they provide and so forth. And now Mary's going to give us her answer to her question, and her question is, you hold this hand right there, look at this. Everyone likes to have fun. What is fun for you? Now marry your mother, sir. All right, here we go. And you got that program right in here. And great, going out with people, going to movies, and all those things that you and I enjoy. It don't make it any different. Well, as I said, the judges got a tough one. At this time, I think I'm supposed to dismiss them, give them a few moments there, and we've got some other things that we're going to be doing, and I'm sure that this is going to be an evening that you're going to remember. Look at all these beautiful, beautiful people. There goes the judges. Glad I get to stay in here, judges. The judges are going out. We also have some other commendations that we're going to make tonight. But right now, I would like to introduce our board chairperson, the person of Jenny DuPay, who will introduce our board members and so forth, and just have something to say to us tonight. And we've had some hectic meetings, haven't we, Jenny? But we made it. We're here. Jenny DuPay, our chairperson of the Handicap Women of Iowa.
Thanks, Ron. On behalf of Miss Wheelchair Iowa Board of Directors, I'd like to welcome all of you to the 1986 Handicapped Women of Iowa Pageant. Miss Wheelchair Iowa is a non-profit organization whose purpose is to conduct this annual pageant to select the Handicapped Women of Iowa. The woman selected tonight will become a spokesperson for the year to educate the public regarding the benefits gained by full participation of the disabled in all aspects of community life. She will travel and make public appearances to organizations throughout the state and urge other disabled people to take leadership roles and participate fully in community life. She will promote equal rights for disabled persons and stimulate the public interest in action in the elimination of architectural and attitudinal barriers against the disabled. She will be a role model who will exemplify the dignity and productiveness of Iowa's disabled person. At this time, I would like to recognize the Miss Wheelchair Iowa Board of Directors who have all worked extremely hard this past year to make this pageant possible. First of all, we have Jim Bethel from Iowa Department of Human Services. Carter from the Postal Service. Ann Kopic from the Governor's Committee on Employment of the Handicapped and Disabled. Jean DeBoer from the Internal Revenue Service. Back in the corner there. Mike Foster from PAL 3 Iowa Methodist Medical Center. From Bankers Life Company. Loretta Tassin from Internal Revenue Service. Again in the back of the room, Lou Burley from Management, Consulting, and Rehabilitation Services. Deanna Woods from Job Service of Iowa. Holly Lynch from Iowa Medical Society. And one last thing, we would like to thank every sponsor and contributor who made this pageant possible. Believe me, without their financial support, none of us would be here tonight. I'd like to all just take a minute sometime
say, the judges are out there and they're working and making their decisions. The board is, I know they're tired and they're all looking forward and anxiously awaiting as we wind down or come to the climax of our program here over the weekend. That Gene DeBoer, I tell you, that guy he's so tough. That's Gene back there, one of the board members. He's been out here all day long, and he's a good director. Put the riser over there. No, that don't look right. Put it over there. Bring it back. He had the guys running around here. You should have seen him giving the orders. Of course, they're not here tonight. I don't know. They took the night off. Gene, did you excuse them, Gene? But he had them going out here today. I think they were glad to see me. Okay, but he just does a super job. All of our board members are just really great people, and they're 100% turnout here tonight. That shows you what they, how many boards you belong to, or how many people you're on board. Well, you go to a board meeting, maybe half, maybe 2/3, but we have 100%. Give the board another hand. I'm proud of you. They're doing all this without pay. That we talk about monetary pay, but you'd be surprised how much other pay we get. You're going to find out about that later on. It's just great, so rewarding. At this time, I would like to introduce a lady that I've known for a number of years. I always enjoy her because no matter how ridiculous my jokes are, I can always guarantee she'll laugh for me. So if I want to tell a joke or tell a story, I want to make sure that she's always around. But I tell you, I've listened to her give speeches, I've listened to her give talks. In fact, I visited her in the hospital here not too long ago. I'm not going to tell about that, Denise, now. We won't go into that tonight, but it's a little private thing that we have going. But she is so precious and so genuine and so full of whatever it is that gives her the energy to share with others. Denise, will you come up and introduce the lady that's going to have to give it up tonight? She's been reigning all year, but Denise is going to tell you a little bit about her and give the introduction, and then we're going to hear from last year's winner. Denise Moore, come on up. Oh, you're so precious. Give her a hand. You know something else that's kind of unusual tonight. Denise and I, no matter where we show up or where we go, we seem to be color coordinated. You know this is? Huh? All right.
We didn't even plan it. That's what I like.
All right.
I don't want to trip over this.
Okay.
And Mona and I decided that neither one of us are going to trip over this when she comes up here. So we're going to have you assist us. Is that all right?
Okay, you bet.
Okay.
You've been giving me orders for years. Why should I take time?
Excuse me, I haven't done this for a while. Mona McElderry from Iowa City was selected handicapped woman 1985. As the wife of a medical student and the mother of 3 boys ages 18, 15, and 12, she leads a life full of constant challenges. She finds that laughter, prayer, Baskin-Robbins ice cream, and a well-charged battery are necessary to keep her going. I can really relate to that. Her motto is, make hay while the sun shines. When she developed multiple sclerosis, she had a young husband who was working 2 jobs, and she had 3 children under the age of 7. She came to realize that a healthy body is not a guarantee to any of us. With a diagnosis like MS, she could not be certain of raising her own children or live outside a nursing home. She decided to collect the good days and see the bad ones as only temporary. And with the good days, she resolved to enjoy her family and friends to the fullest. She decided to use today to say and do the things she wanted to do for others, to set goals that were both realistic and worthwhile. We're not only honored to have her with us this evening, but we also know that her husband Tom and her youngest son Tom are here to be with her tonight as she says goodbye. We're all proud of our handicapped woman of 1985, and I'm pleased to introduce her to you for her farewell message. The handicapped woman of Iowa 1985, Mona McElderry.
Thanks, Denise. Thanks to everybody in this room. because it's been such an adventure for me this last year. I had an awful lot of fun. I really had no idea how much fun I was going to have, and maybe not all of it planned by the rest of you either. Tonight, Ann asked me to say a few things about what were some of the adventures, and I tried to look back and say, what were the big things that happened? And the things that I remembered first is that the folks in Hawkeye, Iowa, there's some really terrific cooks there. I want you to know that. But the folks in Sioux City, now, the Sioux City folks are the folks who really know how to party. Next time you go to Sioux City, remember that. That's those folks. I had an awful lot of help from my family this year. Tom did a lot of the driving for one end of the state to the other, and then when he couldn't get away from the hospital, sometimes I drafted my oldest son, Mort, and he missed a half a day of school to take me to an appointment. He took me to Atlantic, Iowa once, and he thought that he was going to get a free dinner and get to hear Mom speak. And he was sitting there beside me real quiet, and all of a sudden I said, now the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to sing some accessibility songs. And I whipped out the song sheet and started in, and I was halfway through the first song, and he was gone. I couldn't believe it, you know. That young man just tightened his knees and he slipped right under that table, and he stayed there until I stopped singing. He said, Mom, don't ever, ever sing in public again. Don't. So I decided maybe he was not the right chauffeur for me to have. And the next time I took Joe, and he got to miss a half a day of school, and he made up that work, and he said that that would be fine. But we went up to Ames to speak to a group of clothing designers and to talk about clothing for persons with physical handicaps. Well, that was really neat, but when we got to Ames, now some of you understand Ames is kind of this different town. It's got a closed campus, and that means you can't drive just right over there where you need to be. And we had a real nice map, and we turned it this way and that way, and we couldn't get on to that campus. I mean, we were in big trouble. And I was looking at my watch, and I was saying, we got about 10 minutes until we got to be in that class. What are we going to do? And Joe said, well, Mom, you know, there's a sidewalk over there where we could get around that gate. And so that's what he did. He went right up there the sidewalk and around the gate and through the grass, and we came out and started down the street, and here came two of those student buses at us. And he said, what do we do? What do we do? And I said, we're celebrities. Wave. And you know, they all waved back. We've just had lots of adventures this year, and it's been lots of fun. But one of the things that I learned that I really wanted to share tonight, I got to thinking about it. Now, we said that these ladies on the stage, they're all winners. And I think that everybody in this room is a winner too. And what I want to challenge everybody here to do in this next year is to say, hey, you too are also capable of being an advocate for handicapped persons. You too, by having some special empathy for persons with physical handicaps, are able to say to other people, these are the changes that need to be made. These are the things that persons with handicaps can do. And I'd like you to do that because we need lots more people to speak up for the needs of persons who are differently able or handicapped or disabled or who are just different. So I hope you'll do that. And thanks so much for the adventures of the year. It has been a trip.
Farewell that didn't sound like a farewell. I think she's going to be right out there still championing her causes. At this time, now we're going to, I see the sheriffs are back, and we're going to meet them in just a few minutes. But I'm really proud at this time because we're going to be honored with a couple of selections from Helen Settle and her sister, Audrey Norman. And they're going to be accompanied by Alma Angaran. Alma, you're so beautiful. You know, we called her last year. We was having so much trouble with the pianist. And Helen, you know, Helen's real faithful. All we got to do is let her know what time and place. But we were just up against it. And we called Alma, and she says, well, I've got a funeral that morning and a wedding that afternoon, but I'm okay for that evening. I said, thank you, Alma. And she said, you've got a permanent pianist now. So we're going to be after you every year, Alma. You'll be here. So at this time, we're going to have two selections from the sisters, accompanied by Alma.
Well, we're the Jones sisters. That's what we are. That's what we were known as, let's see, shall I say it, Audrey, 50 years ago or so. And we've been singing together that long. Recently, however, the last 3 years, we've been singing mostly gospel songs. But before we sing, I want to say one thing about Mona. She gave the Iowa rehabilitation nurses one of the most wonderful workshops we've ever had. She told us and gave us some sensitivity from the client side of view and gave us nurses some knowledge on how to handle some very specific problems. It was wonderful, Mona. Okay, we're going to sing a couple verses of My God and I first. Okay. My God and I go in the field together. We walk and talk as good friends should and do. We clap our hands, our voices ring with laughter. My God and I walk through the meadows new. We clap our hands, our voices ring with laughter. My God and I walk through the meadows new. My God and I will go far on together. We'll walk and talk and just as good friends do. This earth will pass and with it common trifles, but God and I will go unendingly. This earth will pass and with it common trifles, but God and I will go unendingly. Now, a couple of verses of one day at a time, certainly the way that all of us should live. One day at a time. I'm only human. I just help me believe in what I could be and all that I am. Show me the stairway I have to climb. Oh Lord, for my sake, teach me to take one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. That's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. One day at a time, sweet Jesus, that's all I'm asking from you. Just give me the strength to do every day what I have to do. Yesterday's gone, sweet Jesus, and tomorrow may never be mine. Lord, help me today, show me the way, one day at a time.
All right. You know, putting everything together, you know, the piano has a thing that holds the music. When we brought the piano out today, we didn't have that music holder on it. So that's what caused the music to fall there. But you wouldn't have noticed. It still sounded good. That's right. But it was just fun. But next year we'll make sure it's got, what is that called, Alma? Music rack. That's why we didn't have it. I didn't know what you called it. But we'll make sure we have it next time. Alma's also going to be with us for the governor's award banquet. In fact, that's going to be the first thing that our representative will be doing. She'll be attending the governor's banquet next Friday night. So that we get to see Alma again, we get to see our winner again. At this time, I would like to introduce Mike Foster, one of our board members. We used to have a team, well, we're still kind of going at it, it's called the Des Moines Road Runners. And a little bit about Mike. Mike was so fast in the wheelchair, we just barnstormed all over the country. We played in Denver, we played in Texas, Oklahoma, everywhere. I was their coach and manager and so forth. But was in this real tight ball game one night, and I remember this. We were up by 1 point. There was 33 seconds left in the ball game, and Mike had the ball. And Mike was out there dribbling. He kept dribbling. I yelled at him. I said, Mike, don't shoot, we're ahead. Don't shoot, we're ahead. But he shot. They rebounded, got the ball, went down and won the game. Mike Foster, come on up here. Give the ladies a bracelet tonight. Mike's going to give them their bracelets tonight. We have a bracelet that says Handicapped Woman of Iowa on it. So a little momentum that they'll be able to keep for many, many years. And I'm quite sure they'll reflect back on it and look at that as Mike makes those presentations. Do you have anything to say to him, Mike?
I would like to let you all know that I have a bracelet for Ron, and we'll give that to him later.
Boy, he never misses a chance. I don't know what he's whispering, but I'm trying to find out. He's also pretty good looking, you know, so we have to keep close tab on him. Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much. Thank you. This next award is an award that the ladies kind of decide among themselves who it's going to be. They pick from among themselves that lady that represents to them the one that expresses compatibility, friendship, kindness, love, all of those things that mean so much to to us, whether we're disabled or not. It's always enough at this time that it gives me a great deal of pleasure to make this award, because this is something, no, judges didn't do it, you didn't do it, the ladies did it themselves. And tonight, that person that they're recognizing as Miss Compatibility is the lady that they chose is Marie Van Hound from West Des Moines. Miss Compatibility. With a disability that's able to come out here and participate in these weekends of sport, in this weekend of events, and all of the things that went on, and the problems that she has, and still she's able to come out here and participate. If it don't make you feel something in here, you ain't got nothing in there. But we're certainly glad for you. And right now we're going to have the presentation that's going to be given by Deanna. Has a couple of awards she has for. We have roses from Jim Bethel. Where's her companion? She had the lady that you may have to help her. You've been so beautiful being here with her too on this weekend. Also, we have a plaque that Deanna Woods is going to give us. What does that say on there, Deanna?
Miss Compatibility, Handicap Woman of Iowa, 1986. And it also includes a 25-page note from Iowa City, Kiwanis.
You cleaned up, didn't you? How about that? And we're going to visit with her back there after our affair is over here. We're going to have a reception back there, but I tell you, it's just wonderful. Like it just gives you so much courage to keep going on when these ladies among themselves picked Marion. And I tell you, you couldn't have made a better choice. I concur with it completely. Thank you very much. Deanna, one of our board members that just made the presentation there, I don't know if you noticed, well, you had to notice the stage and all the beautiful flowers and so forth. Deanna had her husband, her daughter-in-law, Chris. Did Chris come tonight? I know she did. Chris over here, her flower shop, she made all these arrangements and so forth. Chris, stand up so they can see you in the back. This is Deanna's back. And they wanted to make it nice. They helped her husband and her father-in-law. They're all out here working today, and this is what makes this program so wonderful. And I'm just really thrilled and delighted to be a part of the program. At this time, we're going to, I want to stay on the program as much as possible. We've made the presentations to Miss Compatibility. We're going to meet their escorts in just a moment, but right now, I believe the judges are in the back room, and they are ready. So here come the judges. If that's somebody, here come the judge. This really isn't difficult because I feel like they're all winners. We're just going to select one that's going to be the representative, but I'm just glad I wasn't part of that deciding. And here comes Jackie, and she's going to hand me the envelope. And at this time, you know, I'm the only one right now that knows who it is, other than the judges. And that's always a good feeling to know that you're the only one that knows who our winner is going to be, or our representative is going to be. So, at this time, the lady that's going to represent Iowa in this Handicap Iowa for 1986 is a lady by the name of Eleanor Luce from Sioux City, Illinois. Well, we got gift certificates, we got, let's put her sash on, we got to get her dressed up. Have we got some pins on there? There's no pins on there. Well, let's drape it across her. We gotta take some pictures here. Look at the roses. And that was Lou Verley presenting the roses, our past president and also a board member. And we have some other presentations to make, Jenny, so don't go too far. And we have some luggage here somewhere, don't we, Lou? We have some luggage. All right. And they've given her the, what we call the Madeline Shepherd Award. That's this envelope here. She'll be able to go down to Madeline Shepherd's. And that's a very exclusive women's shop down there. So I know she'll be down there to pick up her gift there. In fact, I bought my wife a coat there, although I haven't paid it off. I bought it 5 years ago. I'm making work with it. It's a very nice shop. And if you're ever downtown Des Moines, be sure and stop in Madeline's place because she has some very, very lovely things. And tonight we have so many sponsors and so many people that have done so many wonderful things. I've tried year after year to get Madeline Shepherd to come and make this presentation because one of the things that we feel, it gives more credibility to our program when we can have someone who gives the gifts to come and make the presentation. And that leads me up to, we talk about Billamick's gift shop. And I believe Faye Billamick is here to make the presentation. We have another gift. Here's Faye. All right. She's here to make the presentation. All right.
Thank you for asking.
Well, we're certainly glad.
Take it out, the Lakewood duties, and take it anywhere you want. The battery can end up. I'm terribly
Very good.
We asked to do this because I've had 22 years of really joy. Because at Teachers Field Center, I was on their board, and they asked me to help start a daycare for little children. We now call it developmental daycare. I've been with them from the beginning, 22 years of it, and to do those little children. We have from the age of 2 weeks to 21 years. We have a new home now, thanks to Variety Club. Can't speak highly enough of it. We now have a new home because they helped us buy the old fire station at Beaver and Hickman. Then remodeled, we're going to have an open house on the 18th, and I'd like to have all of you come. Our director is still our same director of 22 years. Thank you.
We're going to have remarks from Eleanor, and she's going to have some things to say to us. At this time, it's always exciting. And I was going to sing, there she is, but I didn't know the rest of it. Okay. Oh, you're on this.
This is really a thrill and an honor. Words are kind of hard to say tonight. My family isn't with me because my brother tells me, who is 13 years younger than I am, that he's guarding the country. He's with the Air National Guard in the city, and this is their weekend to drill. I just finished a year of teaching school for 45 years, which has been very rewarding. And I started to join the Greenland Handicap Speakers in the city because before I could not participate because they met at noon. The Queen last year really has issued us a challenge, and so we have a long and hard road to go, but we'll try and accept your challenge. I'd like to thank each of the judges and all the people who made this possible. I'm just thrilled because I didn't know what this was like, and I came just to find out what you were all like, and to meet all these people that I heard about at the meetings in the city. And I'm sorry, it's been nice to meet all these other contestants and to have to share the experiences with them. I don't know what else I'd say to you, but thanks very, very much.
As you've noticed that Steve Larson, our photographer, tonight has just been taking all types of pictures, and we're going to have some pictures that he's taken in the past on display out there. Steve, we certainly appreciate you coming over. Steve Carson, another family member, one of the board members. We all get in this together and just work it out real good, so we're certainly glad. And at this time, we're going to ask that the escorts would once again now return. We're going to ask that everyone would please remain seated.
I have one more thing I want to say.
Well, all right, one more thing.
Before we entered this room tonight, my escort said to me, I escorted the winner last year. I said, I'm not so sure you'll be so lucky this year. So he's really, 2 years in a row, he's really a lucky man.
We have a lot of dignitaries in the crowd tonight. We're certainly glad for all of them. I even see Don Westergaard here from the Executive Director of the Governor's Commission on Employment of the Handicapped. We're glad to have him here. His big banquet is next Friday. We'll all be there. And his son is back there with him. And his wife. Just everything's wonderful. Here comes the escorts. One asks that everyone would remain seated until after the contestants have left the stage, and we'll assemble in the back room. And when we assemble back there, we have a little refreshments for you. Again, I want to thank the Jones girls. I want to thank all of the companions and associates. I want to thank all of our board members, the photographers, all of our sponsors on the program. And I'm awfully sorry, one of the sponsors we didn't get on the program. They give us a sizable monetary contribution, and that was Marge and Bruce Verley. Well, mother and father of one of our board members. So everybody gets into the program, and we're just certainly happy. And Alma, love you. I'm going to see you next Friday, too. So at this time, just before they leave, they're still on duty, but they're here to assist us. We're going to ask that the ladies would now introduce their escorts. Do you remember their names? Okay, start right here.
This is the best going, Scott Redding.
And I'm Lieutenant Randy Cross.
All right. Give us your finest. Is that the Marines or the Polk County Sheriff? I think we got the finest here tonight. Thanks a lot, fellas. We certainly appreciate you coming out. Let's meet out in the outer hall there, and we're going to have some refreshments, have a good time. Alma's going to give you some music that's going to make you want to march. And I tell you, if you got a tape here to put in there, we might even do a little boogieing out there, okay? Here we go. Alma will do you now. Let's take it now. Here we go. We'll wait till all of our contestants have left the stage. We certainly appreciate the Sheriff's Department, all our fellow contestants. So beautiful. Judges, you did a super job. Super. Tough job. She just asked me for a kiss. 1986 is going to be exciting, isn't it? We have some refreshments for you back there. Thanks again to everyone for coming. Thank you so much. It's so much fun, I think we're going to do it again next year. What do you think?
Yes.
Huh? Thank you.
Yes, right.
Sure does. That's right.
baby's got 10 years. Okay, L, your baby's got 10 years. L, baby's got 10 years. Go, Ella, go. Move, move, move. And then it goes down to 90 years. Okay. Hi, Tom. Sure enough, we can.
I'm gonna put this on the
No coffee.
Oh, okay.
A lot of good ones with the whole group, you know, the whole row of girls probably had a 10, I think.
Good night, everyone. Good
night.
Man, who's taking the board?
You are.
Oh,
And he's taking some video of it.
yeah, you know, next year I hope we can get him over to some of our board meetings and so forth. We'll right up to the pageant.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll work something out.
Yeah.
That one out.
Oh, no, no, no.
there's the one I'm stuck with up there.
Well, you did a nice job on that videotape.
Wasn't that super? Lou, I might need just a little bit of help.
Sure.
I took all the heavy stuff out, the VCRs, the televisions.
Well, in that
but-
case, I'm ready to help you. You just call me that and I'm here.
Say, where's Polly? Now, we got a bag of potato chips over there.
Polly left because she's going to math tomorrow, Carter.